It was a year ago that the U.S. Secret Service was entangled in a sex scandal while President Obama was planning a trip to Colombia. Several members of an advanced security team were accused of hiring prostitutes before the president arrived. And tonight, John Miller has an interview with one of the agents involved. John?
Well, Scott, of the 11 Secret Service agents caught up in the Cartagena scandal, 6 of them, a year later, find themselves still on indefinite suspension and without pay and without a hearing. Gregory Stokes is the first of the agents to speak publicly. He says the agents were in a foreign country where using an escort service is legal and at the time was not specifically prohibited by Secret Service regulations. What happened down there?
What happened down there was a bunch of agents who were not specifically assigned a duty at a given time, were on their own time, went out and met some women, brought them back to their rooms, did what they did, and said, "See you later."
What was the first thing that came to your notice that there was trouble?
We were called to go over to the President's Hotel, which was over a mile away from our hotel.
And what were you told?
Initially, I was under the impression that a counter-assault team agent had gotten some sort of a dispute with a girl, and that we were going to be questioned about that incident. It very quickly became obvious that I was one of the targets.
And that was about whether or not you brought a prostitute into your room?
Yeah, I think the best way to answer that, John, is this. The government has a right to investigate me and other people to every extent necessary to ensure that safety and security of the president was not compromised, that the conditions of our security clearance weren't compromised, and that operational security was adhered to. And my answer to your question is all those conditions were met.
So, John, like you said, it's been a year. Will these guys get a hearing?
Well, they've had hearings about the revocation of their security clearances, but they haven't had a hearing about their future employment. It's clear that Secret Service is moving towards terminating them, but they're saying, we've been hanging out here for too long, and other agents who have been accused of worse have been suspended and been brought back to work. So they're starting to go public as they say there's a lot more to tell about this story.
Maybe not a coincidence that the president recently appointed the first woman director of the Secret Service. John, thanks very much. You can see much more of John's interview with Gregory Stokes first thing tomorrow on CBS This Morning.